Violent at a gas station overnight, leaving a clerk stabbed. This morning, what police say the suspect took before running off.
And the Almost Park man accused of killing his wife back in court today. We'll tell you what's next for Brad Simpson.
And a woman is facing multiple charges of injury to a child after her 2 young children were found dead. This morning, why questions still remain as to what exactly happened.
Live from KSAT 12, Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
All right, we're off and running here. Stephania back with us on a Monday morning.
Yeah, very excited. A wonderful way to start the week, 6 a.m. right now. And, a lot of you might be thinking, you might be looking at the date and thinking, okay, great.
Yes.
Time to, unpack all the sweaters and all that. Okay, you could do that to get ready, but it'll take you a while before you can actually justify using them.
Just won't need them till like November, but have them ready to go.
You can take them out if you want.
Wow. Puts you in the vibe. That's good. Yes, fall officially starts today at 1:19 p.m., but it will not feel like it, and it certainly does not feel like it this morning. We've got temperatures still on the verge of 80 degrees. Look at the feels like number, 82, 77 in New Braunfels, 79 in Converse. It's a warm morning, and the humidity is not helping with the cloud cover. We're just not going to see these temperatures fall much more from where they are now. So just know that it will be a warm start, and it will be a very warm end. 95 is where we're headed today. And not only that, it'll feel like it's up near 100 at times because that humidity sticks with us. So it's just feeling very, very warm. We do have some changes, though, and these are good changes. So a front heads our way on a Wednesday. This slides through Wednesday afternoon. I think Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday night. This is when we're going to peak with our rain chances. There's going to be some storms possible, maybe 1 or 2 strong ones, and then we could get up to an inch of rain in some spots. So that would be fantastic. Not only that, it cools us down too. So we'll see cooler conditions, less humidity by the time we get into Thursday. So that will feel great too. Again, it's the changes are not far off, but we got to get through a couple days here where the heat is going to be pretty significant. We'll get into that timing of all of this for you coming up in just a couple minutes. But now over to RJ with a look at that morning commute. How are things?
All right, Justin, things are looking pretty good out there. If you're about to step outside, you will definitely need to crank up the AC, though. 281 at Borkfield Drive. Good morning to all of our folks. Giving our first look here at some of our cameras on the far north side of town, Bulverde, Overlook Parkway, no major issues there. So that's good news. Again, if you're about to hit the roads anytime soon. Let's give you a look here at a couple different things, though. Thousand Oaks, we mentioned that earlier at 35. All right, our map's kind of catching up here a little bit. And we are seeing some little bit of backup here, but traffic's starting to move along. So we'll check in with Alex in just a little bit. That was going to be 35 northbound at Thousand Oaks. And still dealing with some overnight construction right here. 10 at Frio Street. You still see some flashing lights there off to the distance. That's going to be I-10 westbound going to the lower levels out of the downtown area. So this will not be affecting, for the moment, all of our folks going into downtown as you see it off there in the distance. Let's check in with Alex right now for the very latest on that incident on the northeast side of town. Alex, what can you tell us?
RJ, good morning and happy Monday. Well, the northeast side is cleared of any accidents. That one accident that we had 35 north at Weidner has cleared. You might see some leftover backup in that area, but it should be clearing out very soon. And there's no construction slowing us down in that area too. So the northeast side is back to normal, RJ.
Okay, good news for our drivers out there, and we'll check in on some of your gas prices if you're about to start your work week coming up in just a bit. Guys, back to you.
All right, gentlemen, thank you very much. San Antonio police are investigating a violent robbery from overnight at a gas station on Highway 90. Officers say a man walked into the Roadster shell with a knife, pointed to the register, and when the clerk refused to open it, the suspect jumped over the counter and stabbed him multiple times in the back. Police say the man then grabbed random items and took off on foot. The clerk was rushed to University Hospital. His official condition is not known at this time.
In a few hours this morning, both sides in the Brad Simpson murder case are scheduled to be back in court. Simpson, as you know, is accused of killing his wife, Suzanne, who disappeared nearly a year ago. Today's hearing comes after a judge recently allowed Simpson to have phone calls with his son as long as they don't talk about the case. Prosecutors were also given until today. They had their deadline today to fix a formatting issue with evidence files that the defense hasn't been able to open. And the judge could set a trial date as early as this afternoon.
All right, so take a look at what happened when a car crashed into a Lincoln Heights store. Bit of a scene right there, but the good news is everybody is okay. San Antonio police say a 61-year-old woman lost control of her car yesterday and crashed into St. Bernard's clothing store and also hit several cars in the parking lot. Now, there were people in the store at the time, but police say nobody was seriously hurt. Officers also say there's no sign the driver was intoxicated, so as of right now, she is not facing any criminal charges.
San Antonio police say that one man is in jail this morning and another is under investigation accused of stealing roof shingles from construction sites. Officers were called around 3 a.m. yesterday to Sliding Way near I-35 and Fisher Road in Von Ormy. Police say that two men were taking shingles when someone tried to stop them, and then one of the suspects threatened him before taking off. Right now, one suspect is locked up and the search for the other continues today.
Well, some good news this morning for Uvalde Consolidated Independent School District. Officials say they've made a lot of progress in recovering from last week's technology incident. They have restored phones, internet, security, heating, and air conditioning at their campuses. They say they will have everything up and running for class later this morning. Now, the outage was caused last week after ransomware was found on the district's servers.
6:04 right now. Let's give you a look at some of your morning headlines. We're starting overseas here, where the push to recognize a Palestinian state is picking up speed. The UK, Australia, and Canada have now formally recognized it, a move that sparked an angry response from Israel. The three countries say that they are taking a stand over Israel's handling of the war in Gaza. More nations, including France, are expected to make similar announcements at the UN General Assembly later on this week. Now, President Trump says he opposes recognition, but says he would like a diplomatic solution. And back here closer to home, President Donald Trump and thousands of people paid their respects to conservative activist Charlie Kirk at a massive memorial in Arizona. This service was held inside the Arizona Cardinals Stadium and included Vice President J.D. Vance and other administration officials. Kirk's widow, you see her right there, Erica, in her own address, said in the midst of all of her grief, she was finding comfort that her husband left this world without any regrets.
I forgive him because it was what Christ did and is what Charlie would do. The answer to hate is not hate. The answer we know from the gospel is love, and always love.
While other speakers highlighted Kirk's profound faith and his strong belief that young conservatives need to get married, have children, and pass on their values. Meanwhile, a 22-year-old Utah man has been charged with killing Kirk and faces the death penalty if convicted. Back to you guys.
Okay, RJ, thank you. Here back locally, San Antonio's Startup Week is less than a month away. And this year it will not just be working professionals showing off their ideas.
This is what makes it so cool, because 12 high schools are going to be bringing in their own students who've been working on startups of their own, some of which already have thousands of dollars invested in them. I mean, these are really hardworking kids.
Yes.
Our Devin Karp is here to give us a look at one team that's going to be showing off their work in the beverage industry. Devin.
Hey, yeah, good morning, guys. All right, so when you think of going to grab a soda, you might want to reach for, I don't know, maybe a Sprite, maybe a Coke, maybe a Dr. Pepper, something along those lines. Well, if these high school girls get their way, soon you'll be thinking about reaching for a fizzy instead. Their alternative for an all-natural, healthy soda in the beverage industry. Now, this is coming out of a group of teens who have just been working hard to make sure that their ideas can come to fruition through a lot of the work in the business industry. The teams of students, like these 5 girls, have been working to learn exactly what it takes to run a startup. That includes working on things like their elevator pitches, their marketing, business plans, product development, regulatory compliance behind it, you name it, it's all right over here. The team behind Fizzy, who I spoke with, is a group of seniors who have spent the last year and junior year honing their plans, working on a school pitch competition, and get this, they already have nearly $10,000 worth of investment. They say they know that they're going to graduate high school in a year, but they want to keep the company going into and beyond college.
So we would love to keep it going. We've obviously created an awesome team who we kind of want to work with for as long as we can. And then another kind of goal we have is just to make the world aware of what a real healthy soda is. People are drinking these healthy sodas right now, and we want them to be able to drink things that are actually good for their body. So even if Fizzy can start other companies doing similar things, that would be amazing.
So here's how it ties back up into San Antonio Startup Week. Geekdom and other business leaders there are going to be giving students a platform to pitch their own ideas at their work to a wide range of people at the conference. That's going to include other entrepreneurs who, by the way, I've been doing this a lot longer than some of these kids who aren't even 18 yet. They're also going to be pitching their ideas to business investors and people in the community who can give them feedback on what their ideas might need to be right at the same level as some of the people who have been working in San Antonio for years and years. It's pretty cool to see. We'll have more of it coming up here later on this morning on GMSA Plus and GMSA at 9. But for now, we'll send it back to y'all. Devin Karp, KSAT 12 News.
All right, Devin, thank you. Let's go outside with live cam. It is 6:08, 79 degrees. We still have cloudy skies over the city this morning. We'll start off that way. It is the fall equinox, and today the Earth is not tilted away nor towards the sun. We officially go into fall. We'll talk about that and our forecast coming up.
All righty, sir. Thank you. This morning, Karen Reid is heading back to court 3 months after being acquitted in her former boyfriend's death. A new lawsuit has been filed. We're going to break down what it means for Reid and the O'Keefe family.
And also next, a look back at a special event hosted by the Spurs, Mavericks, and Rockets over at Ingram High, bringing hope to a community that's still healing and reeling from the Hill Country floods.
And this morning, the president is expected to announce what he calls a breakthrough on autism. He may link Tylenol use during pregnancy to that. We'll get reaction from doctors on what it could mean going forward. Coming up.
Welcome back. 6:13 right now. The Trump administration promising a major announcement today about autism.
Yeah, so as ABC's Allison Cossack reports, he's reportedly set to link Tylenol use during pregnancy to the development of autism in children.
President Trump today is expected to announce his administration has, quote, found an answer to autism. He spoke about the disorder overnight while returning to the White House.
There's obviously something artificial that's really wrong. And we think we know what that is.
The Washington Post reports the administration is planning to link autism to the use of Tylenol in pregnancy and is expected to claim that the FDA-approved cancer drug leucovorin is a possible treatment for autism. Both claims raising concern among many doctors.
It's extremely dangerous to raise fear and alarm in pregnant women. Why add to the misery and the fear-mongering when it is based on very limited evidence?
No studies have proven that use of Tylenol, known as acetaminophen, by pregnant women is a cause for autism. Some limited evidence suggests it's associated with higher rates of neurological issues, but those studies have been mixed. The maker of Tylenol saying, "We believe independent, sound science clearly shows that taking acetaminophen does not cause autism. We strongly disagree with any suggestion otherwise." Allison Cossack, ABC News, New York.
Closer to home, the San Antonio Spurs, the Dallas Mavericks, Houston Rockets, and more than 30 other professional sports teams hosting a special Sport for Healing Fest over in Ingram over the weekend. The event was at Ingram High School in some of the same areas that were once reunification sites after the July 4th flood.
So the goal was to give families an opportunity to get back to even a small sense of normalcy after the flooding this summer. Students from all over the Hill Country played games and got their faces painted.
There's so many people that have been through so much, and it's just, people are happy, smiling, and it's nice to see because it hasn't been like that,
It was special to see this small little school that I go to with so many people from all over Texas here, and it's really cool to see how much support we're getting.
So support from the community and a few good catches for Kendall made for a great weekend in the Hill Country. You might have seen in the video there Avery Johnson, former Spurs great, who over the weekend, as you know, joined the 1999 Spurs championship team and the San Antonio Sports Hall of Fame.
Yes.
So we were just reminiscing and going back to partying like it was 1999.
There we go.
Yes.
To the city, yeah.
The Coyote also was inducted.
The original Tim Dirk.
Coyote. Yes,
yes,
Dirk,
absolutely. Who got it all started.
Yes, good stuff. Love Avery. All right, guys, let's check out the roads right now. And Avery, I remember, how would he refer to David Robinson, the Admiral? 5-0. Just get the ball. Just get the ball to 5-0. That's it. I love Avery Johnson. He has done some great things, still a big part of the San Antonio, Central Texas community. Also calling games now, too, basketball games as well. 410 at East Houston, east side of town. No major issues there. We've talked about this construction activity there at 10 at Frio. Let's give you a look here. 35 moving along. Yes, this is good news for our drivers on the far northeast side of town and the inner northeast side. And again, our shot there, 10 at Frio Street. So no major incidents. Let's kind of give you a rundown. We're looking at some gas prices. According to AAA Texas, right now in San Antonio, you're paying $2.72 for regular gas. That is down 9 cents. 9 cents there, early math here, from just last week, and a little bit lower than across the state, and of course lower than what we're seeing nationally. A couple of pretty inexpensive spots to fill up if you need to. Over here, the Palo Alto Supermarket, that's going to be Palo Alto Road, $2.38 this morning. The Circle K on the north side of town, northeast loop 1604, $2.43, and save the lowest for last for all of our viewers out here in New Braunfels. Not forgetting about you guys, FM 1102 right there, $2.33. Honestly, not bad. Now, a couple of these are where you do have to pay cash only. That's kind of how you get that deal. All right, let's check in with Alex right now and see what is the very latest in Drive Cam. Alex, what's up?
Yeah, good morning, RJ. Well, right now the roadways seem to be calm again for this hour. I'm coming down from the northwest side. I'm on I-10 eastbound, right near Wurzbach, and right now I'm not tracking any incidents on this side of town. And don't worry about the Dallas Cowboys, RJ. We're still warming up.
I mean, Justin almost didn't make it into work today because of that game yesterday. Just playing. Justin's still riding high for the Aggies. They're on a bye week. Justin, how are we looking, man? Weather department.
Listen, I can tell you I did not watch the Cowboys game, but I did see the highlights or lowlights, however you want to put it. Is what it is. Cowboys fans know how this goes. All right, the fall equinox is today at 1:19 p.m. The Earth's axis is tilted neither towards or away from the sun, and nearly equal amount of daylight and darkness at all latitudes. It just officially means we're going into fall, although it's not a flip the switch type thing because it's still going to be very warm as we have our first full day of fall is even going to be warmer than today, but we're going 95 this afternoon, 93 Bernie, 94 in Comfort, 97 up there in Bandera. So definitely a warm afternoon. And this is what it will feel like at around 4 o'clock. Heat index values will be up near 100. And so this is no joke. This is quite a bit of heat for late September, if I'm being honest. So be careful out there. It will not be fun today nor tomorrow with this heat. But we do have, thankfully, some relief on the way in the form of a cold front. There were some questions as to when this front would come through or if it would at all. But we finally, I think, have come into a consensus with our computer models that, yes, this front actually is going to make it here, which is what we need. This is 8 a.m. Wednesday morning. Shows some showers and storms along that front as it drops south through central Texas. It gets here by Wednesday afternoon. When it does, we expect more thunderstorms to develop here, and we'll also get some cooler, drier air moving in. So the severe weather risk on Wednesday, it's low end, where you see this yellow color. On a scale of 1 to 5, it's 1. Gusty winds and hail will be your main threats if we see severe weather at all, but we do need to mention that. And then also, as far as rainfall goes, up to an inch, potentially in spots, maybe more. 1 to 3 inches, I think, in isolated places, but up to an inch, I think, here around San Antonio. Obviously, if we got a lot of that at once, it could cause some street flooding. So that's just another thing we'll be watching Wednesday evening. Going into Thursday morning, and this is how we think the rain chances play out. 60% chance Wednesday afternoon, 40% chance Wednesday night, and then a lingering shower Thursday morning before everything clears out. So let's put it all together for you. 97 tomorrow, 94 Wednesday as the front slides through, and then, yes, cooler weather, 89 Thursday, 91 Friday, low 90s this weekend, but the morning lows will be the big difference there with lows in the mid-60s both Friday and Saturday morning. Love it. All right. Time for our Just Ask Justin question this morning. It has to do with the fall equinox. Which of these structures develops a shadow shaped like a serpent on the fall equinox? Is it the Sphinx, Machu Picchu, Stonehenge, or Chichen Itza? Chichen Itza getting a lot of votes now, 80%. Go to KSAT.com/poll, scan the QR code, weigh in if you like to. We'll get you that answer in 30 minutes.
All right, looking forward to that.
Okay, very good, sir. Thank you. 6:20 right now, 79 degrees outside.
We know that Karen Reid is going to be back in court today, 3 months after her acquittal in her former boyfriend's death. Next up, why the family is now suing.
In this morning's GMA First Look, Karen Reid heading back to court.
Defendant not guilty or guilty?
3 months after a jury acquitted her of murder and manslaughter in the death of her former boyfriend, Boston cop John O'Keefe. The O'Keefe family has filed a wrongful death lawsuit against Reid and 2 bars in Canton, Massachusetts. The family seeking at least $50,000 in damages for pain and suffering and wrongful death.
What I really want is just justice for the family and those that love Johnny. I think that folks have kind of grieved in different ways, but you can't have that final piece, that final rest until this chapter of the story is concluded.
Reid's lawyers maintain she never hit O'Keefe and that she was framed in a law enforcement cover-up. And coming up at 7 a.m., we'll have much more on Karen Reid and the civil case against her. With your GMA First Look, I'm Matt Gutman, ABC News, Los Angeles.
All right, time now is 6:25, 79 degrees out there, my friends. Coming up.
She went to help and still has never left. Up next, how one woman is leading volunteers in Hunt and organizing a benefit concert to support the community devastated by the Hill Country floods.
Also, a woman is facing multiple charges of injury to a child. We'll tell you why the Bexar County Sheriff's Office says that there are some inconsistencies with that mother's story.
And Drive Cam, Alex Gomez on a Monday morning with some clouds. And we've got that and Justin's latest rain chances. A lot to get to here coming up in the next half hour on GMSA.
Live from KSAT 12, Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
And good morning, San Antonio. Thank you so much for joining us. Time now is 6:29. So happy to be here with you this morning. Loaded day. I hope that you're starting your work week off on the right foot.
We agree. And I know poor Justin last week worked long and hard to try to find rain and some variety, a front, what have you. And I think finally your hard work and persistence may have paid off.
It was a rough 2 weeks, but we are here. We do have a front now. I feel pretty confident about it in the forecast. In the models, they were having a rough week last week too, but I think we're there, and I think you're going to love the forecast, especially as you get towards midweek. So let's get right into it. Sunrise this morning will be at 7:22, sunset at 7:30. So we've got about 12 hours of daylight. Of course, today is the equinox, but as we talked about last week, it's not exactly 12 and 12 when it comes to daylight and nighttime. We got to get to the equilux, which is a few days away. Has to do with refraction and the sun being the shape that it is. But either way, today is the equinox. And if you're heading out to the bus stop this morning, temperatures will be in the upper 70s, a rather warm morning with cloud cover. And then by this afternoon, 94. So after school practice, school pickup, it's going to be really toasty. Heat index values will be up around 100. Rain chances. So this is where things get good. Wednesday. We got a front coming through. I think it's Wednesday afternoon. 60% chance of rain. It's been a while since we've had rain chances like that. Continues into Wednesday night and even Thursday morning. Better yet, after we get some rain, we'll get some cooler weather and some lower humidity. So it's all good news here. We're going to break it all down for you coming up in just a couple minutes. But RJ, give us some good news when it comes to the morning commute.
It's been pretty good news so far. Yes, thank you very much, Justin. 6:31 right now. And if you're about to step outside, honestly, not seeing too much activity. So we will definitely take that, especially as we get started with our work week. Gold Canyon traffic looking good both directions over there by 1604. Good morning to all of our folks on the far north side of town. Now, we did have reports of a stalled vehicle right here at 281 at Grayson, but it looks like for the most part, things are starting to clear out here. So that's going to be over there by the Pearl. You're taking a look at 281 right there with downtown in the back, but traffic moving along both directions. 281 right there at Grayson, and then I-10 right here Ackerman or by Dietrich Road. Looks like we did have reports of a stalled vehicle there, but for the most part, east side of town, no major issues. So we like to see that as we get your Monday morning going. Let's go to Alex Gomez right now and see how things are looking on the ground in Drive Cam for us. Alex, what can people expect as they hit the roads?
Yeah, good morning, RJ. Well, it's going to be construction in the downtown area, just as we usually see. Check this out. Look to your right here. The upper level of I-10 West near Culebra is still going to be shut down. Even Fine Silver Curve only has one lane open. So prior weeks, we usually see this wrapped up throughout the 5 a.m. hour, but it looks like it's a lot extended this morning, RJ.
Okay, good information there, Alex, for all of our drivers coming in and out of downtown. Guys, back to you.
RJ, thank you. 6:32 now. The need continues in Kerr County and specifically in Hunt, which was heavily damaged by the July 4th weekend flooding.
But here's something that I want you to do. Mark your calendars, because on October 18th, you could do your part to help with the recovery effort through a benefit concert. Patty Santos live this morning to tell us about the helper behind the benefit.
Hey there, good morning, guys. If you can believe it, it's been about 80 days since the devastating floods, and the hundreds of people that were in Kerr County helping are mostly gone. Now, there are still a few helpers left. One of those is Marissa Rios. Marissa Rios. She has become so connected to the Hunt community that she is planning on moving there.
My name is Marissa Rios, and I am just a citizen of Boerne, Texas, out here in Hunt, and I've been adopted by the volunteer fire department out here. I showed up just thinking I was going to come and do a one-day clean, and I walked into the fire department. It's a small fire department here in Hunt.
Marissa Rios connected so much with this community, she's permanently moving to Hunt. For weeks, she's helped coordinate food, volunteers, and much more. Most of those volunteers have slowly moved on, but she's part of a small core group still here.
We all talk actually pretty much every day, if not every other day. We have chats on Facebook. Okay, who has this? Who has that? You know, I need help today. I need help tomorrow.
You really don't do this for the publicity. You didn't.
No.
You said no to interviews.
Correct.
But this has become home for you, right?
This is home for me, definitely. It has a big place in my heart.
So much that she's coordinating the Hope for Hunt concert on October 18th, put on by Pure Country Barbecue and Grill in Boerne.
It's going to be 100% proceeds, 50-50, so 50 to the Hunt Volunteer Fire Department. They were the backbone when all this started, and I saw them, and they delivered, and they were called upon, and they came through for this town. The other half is going to be to the Hunt Preservation Society, and this is just for the actual hunt.
And they have about 1,500 tickets to sell, but they are looking for sponsors today. Head to KSAT.com and search Hunt to get connected. And Rio says Skylar Darrington, a Camp Mystic survivor, will be making a special performance. Ernie?
All right, Patty, thank you for that. Meanwhile, in Ingram, the Houston Astros and the Astros Foundation have teamed up to rebuild the Ingram Little League Park, and they have had a lot of help. They're just one of several professional teams giving back to the Hill Country.
All of the teams across Texas are investing in the Hill Country, but also they're investing in their own communities for the people who were impacted that happen to have been here. So this is just the beginning.
So when it's all said and done, the new ballpark will have 3 main fields, 2 practice fields, and brand new batting cages.
This morning, a woman faces multiple charges after her 2 young kids were found dead Saturday on the far west side. Investigators in this case have a lot of questions about what happened, so let's take you back. According to the Bexar County Sheriff's Office, Tiona Eiler called 911 saying that her children died after being left in a hot car. But then when deputies arrived to the scene near Chancery Gate and Culebra, the children had already been taken inside. Investigators say that there were inconsistencies with the mother's story.
From my understanding right now, from what we're gathering, there's the mom and the 2 children, and the last time that the children were seen was inside the residence, but then when she reports finding them was after 3 p.m. in the car.
The Bexar County Medical Examiner is still determining the cause of death. Also, the Sheriff's Office is asking any neighbors in that area that have video between 10 a.m. and 3:25 p.m. on Saturday to call them. Congressman Tony Gonzalez now set to be in San Antonio today for a grand opening of a new research facility at the Southwest Research Institute. But now media is no longer invited to attend. And this is after we were invited to the event to interview Gonzalez and other officials too. And that was back on Wednesday.
Now, that was the same day that KSAT Investigates first reported the death of Gonzalez's regional director. There she is right there, Santos Aviles. The Texas Rangers say they are helping Uvalde police with the investigation into the death of the staffer from Gonzalez's office. Family members say Regina Santos Aviles died last Sunday after she caught fire. Now, available right now on KSAT.com, KSAT Investigates' Daniela Ibarra breaks down what we know and has the Institute's response on why the media was uninvited from today's event.
All right, coming up on 6:37 right now on your Monday, let's give you a look at some of your national headlines. The Trump administration says a deal to keep TikTok operating here in the U.S. could be finalized in just a few days. Under this proposal, a group of U.S. investors would own a majority stake while Chinese investors would hold about 20%. The administration says the U.S. would control the app's algorithm, and President Trump has mentioned potential involvement from billionaires like Rupert Murdoch and Michael Dell of Dell Computers. Michael Dell is also a Spurs minority owner. The move comes as Congress passes legislation for a TikTok ban, but executive orders have allowed the app to continue operating during those negotiations. And this morning, the Trump administration is canceling the release of an annual report. And this is actually the story there with Travis Kelce. Okay, we'll talk about that in just a little bit. But this talking about this hunger report, October's report for the 2024 year will be the final one for right now. A spokesperson says the report became too costly and claims that trends in food insecurity have remained virtually unchanged, despite an increase in government benefits between 2019 and 2023. The decision comes after months after a Republican-controlled Congress passed a domestic spending package that included cuts to the food stamp program. Okay, let's get to this story here with Travis Kelce. So the Chiefs got their first win of the season, but Travis Kelce taking a loss this morning in the wallet. The NFL fined the popular Chiefs player more than $14,000 for an obscene gesture that he made during last week's game against the Philadelphia Eagles. He made the gesture after he caught a 23-yard pass. The Chiefs lost the game to the Eagles. It was a rematch of last year's Super Bowl. All right, and finally here, many of us likely felt the pain with concert prices in recent years, and now the Federal Trade Commission is suing Live Nation, the parent company of Ticketmaster, over allegedly deceptive ticket practices. The FTC says the company hid fees that can add up to nearly half the final cost, misrepresented how many tickets were available, and allowed resellers to profit from flipping those tickets. This lawsuit comes after public outrage over high resale prices for concerts, including Taylor Swift's Eras Tour.
Okay, in your consumer headlines, despite the Trump administration's tariffs, the price of a new car has stayed steady in recent months. That's according to a new government report. However, if you've taken your car in for a repair, you may have noticed a difference there. The latest consumer price index shows car repair costs rose 5% between July and August. That's the biggest one-month jump ever. Overall, repairs are up 15% from a year ago. Analysts blame the tariffs on imported cars and parts, which are driving up costs for everyday repairs.
Okay, so we're staying on the subject of cars. Ford now recalling more than 100,000 sedans over faulty door trims that could become hazardous on the road. This recall affects Ford Taurus model years between the years 2016 to 2019. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says that the front door trims may come off while people are driving, although Ford is estimating that only about 1% of vehicles are actually at risk. So far, the company has received more than 450 warranty claims, but no reports of crashes or injuries. So here's the deal. If you have a Ford sedan between the years of 2016 and 2019, a Ford Taurus, dealers can inspect those vehicles for you and replace the trim for free.
Right outside with live cam at 6:40, 79 degrees. We still have a few clouds out there this morning. Very humid, very warm start. This is what we have to look forward to. Cold front heads our way midweek. We'll talk about what that means for our forecast coming up.
All righty, sir, thank you. And up next, how a driver caught in a California mudslide managed to make it out safely to tell the tale. Coming up. All right, we're back. Take a look at this truck right here. Yikes. Storms turned the quiet streets into rivers of mud, literally, in California's San Bernardino County. Now, this driver rushed to try to move a truck before the powerful mudslide swept through that parking lot.
Terrifying. So that motorist that you saw there that was in that pickup truck got trapped in just moments as roads were buried, neighborhoods were cut off. That driver amazingly made it out okay. But in the meantime, while that was happening, families had to shelter in place. Some people were temporarily stranded in their vehicles, but amazingly, no injuries have been reported as a result of that. Even when you could hear the mud. I can't even imagine being there when you could hear that coming down the hill.
So dangerous, so dangerous. And there's so much force associated with that, with those mudslides. Just incredible. I'm so glad everyone's okay.
You did a piece on that during the flooding, the hill country flooding, just about the force of water and everything.
It's pretty incredible.
Okay.
Yeah, guys, fortunately, of course, nothing like that. And we hope that everyone there is okay on the West Coast. As let's give you an update here with our traffic authority, because because starting to see more folks on the roads. Right there's a shot of 281, a couple of our cameras out there by Bulverde Road. Good morning to all of our folks out there. Overlook Parkway, good morning to everyone out there in the Stone Oak and, of course, the TPC Parkway area as we get all our kids out. Reagan Johnson High School ready to get back to school today. Let's give you an idea of what we're looking at here. This is going to be 151 at 410. Reports of a stalled vehicle right here. 151, that's going to be our westbound lanes right there past the 410 interchange. So we'll keep an eye. It looks like traffic for the most part still moving along. And then downtown situation, kind of already know some of the drill here. But as Alex mentioned earlier, starting to see more construction over here, especially along the Fine Silver Curve. This, of course, is our traffic going north from parts of 90 and 10, and you see that 10 is already starting to see some buildup there, right there by Burbank High School. So let's check in with Alex Gomez right now and see the very latest in Drive Cam and see how things are looking on the ground. Good Monday morning, Alex.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning, RJ. I'm actually coming down from the north side, and it's all clear over here, 281 southbound. This is right near Hildebrand, and you're right, we do have downtown construction at Fine Silver Curve. There's only one lane open, so if you're coming down 35 south, just know that it's going to be slow from Fine Silver Curve back to the Pearl now, RJ.
Okay, that is a pretty significant backup there. All right, thank you very much for that, Alex. Check back in with him in just a bit. Justin, a little bit warm, a little bit humid to start our Monday morning here.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, it was hot over the weekend, and I'm afraid to say it could get a little bit hotter before we get our front through. So be prepared for some pretty serious heat today and tomorrow. Meantime, Hurricane Gabrielle is out in the Atlantic. This storm has intensified a little bit, became a hurricane yesterday. Now it's a Category 1 storm. Winds are at 90 miles per hour. It's moving north-northwest at about 10 miles per hour. This is going to scrape by Bermuda and then turn out to the open Atlantic. Now, as it does, it likely becomes a major hurricane, at least for a little bit, Category 3 before it moves into colder waters and eventually will dissipate. So there is Gabrielle. There are also two waves behind that. Now, this one with the 60% chance of development, this likely takes a similar path to Gabrielle. And it seems like this year we've seen a lot of this, and it's just, you know, the Bermuda High is just steering all these waves kind of around the bend, and there has not been a whole lot of effects on the United States or even the Caribbean islands, which is not a bad thing, but we're kind of continuing to see that trend. There's also a wave very close to this one. There's a 30% chance of development with this one. Now, this one is a little bit further west, so it will bear some watching. We certainly will watch that, but we're not expecting any impacts here in Texas from that tropical activity. As we look outside for you, you can see with the reflection of the city lights some of those morning clouds that are out there. We had more earlier, still I'd say partly to mostly cloudy at the moment. We may see these morning clouds stick around for a couple of hours this morning, and then we'll go mostly sunny this afternoon. We're already near 80. 77 in New Braunfels, 79 Converse, 78 right now at Stinson. There's a southeasterly wind, which obviously is drawing in some of that good moisture. 81 at 10 a.m., noontime 85, 88 at 1 o'clock, and then we'll make our way up to 95 for a high. That's a degree warmer than yesterday, and yesterday was plenty warm. And not only that, with the humidity around, heat index values will be up near 100 in many of the spots. So this is definitely a summer-like forecast. Here is the relief that we need so desperately. It won't be here till Wednesday. The front, this cold front, will start to move through the Texas Panhandle today, and then central Texas tomorrow. By tomorrow morning, it's on our doorstep, but it's still not quite here. We'll likely get a line of showers and storms. Now, the question will be, does this hold together and push out? Do we get some new development Wednesday afternoon? And I think probably as the front moves in with the heating of the day, we'll get additional thunderstorms that develop here around San Antonio. Some of these could be heavy rain makers. And then on top of that, we could see a couple strong storms too. So I want to make sure you're fully aware of that. That's Wednesday afternoon into Wednesday evening and Wednesday night. This also helps us with our temperatures. So you see 97 coming up tomorrow. We start off at 78 Wednesday, a little cooler on Wednesday with that chance of rain. And then by Thursday, here's the payoff. 89, morning low of 69. Look at Friday morning, 64, high of 91, but it's a dry heat, so it does get better. And that's what all we can hope for at this point as we officially get into fall today. By the weekend, we'll still be in the 90s, but we'll still get some beautiful mornings here. 65 Saturday morning, 67 Sunday morning. So mornings in the 60s sounds really, really nice about right now. And we'll get there. We'll get there. So thankful that that front is indeed going to make it through. All right, let's go to our Just Ask Justin question this morning and get you an answer. And our question, of course, was, which of these structures develops a shadow shaped like a serpent on the fall equinox? Is it the Sphinx, Machu Picchu, Stonehenge, or Chichen Itza? We got votes for all of them, but Chichen Itza continues to be far out in front. You guys want to guess?
Okay, I thought it was Sphinx.
I was going to go with the people and say Chichen Itza.
Okay. The people are correct. It is Chichen Itza, indeed.
My goodness.
This was kind of an obscure one here, though. But the late afternoon sun on both the fall and spring equinoxes strikes the temple and casts triangular shadows. It creates the illusion of a feathered serpent crawling down the temple. And this was intentional. These ancient civilizations were just incredible, the way they understood the earth and the sun and the atmosphere. It's pretty awesome stuff.
How do they do it, though? That's the question.
I mean, I don't know.
There are many theories out there.
Yes.
There's a show on A&E about that.
Yes, there is. Yes.
Yes. Oh, very good, sir. All right. Learned something new today. Thank you very much.
So now I have a question for you. You were talking about the good temperatures.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Do you have your sneakers ready?
I do. I'm ready to go Saturday morning.
Yes.
I'm going to be running, and I'm very excited about the cooler weather.
Okay, yes, me too. So is everybody else. Yeah. The 12th annual Head for the Cure 5K. That's what Justin was talking about. Right around the corner, the race raises awareness and also funds for brain cancer research. And it's near and dear to our hearts because it honors our late news director, Jim Boyle.
All right, so again, it's happening this Saturday morning, the 27th. Kicks off at 8 a.m. at Providence Catholic School. You can go to ksatcommunity.com. Now, we know the weather's going to be really nice, so you can register and join us and get more details there.
So this is coming up on GMSA Plus. A new $100,000 fee on H-1B visas could shake up the U.S. tech industry, and we're going to break down what exactly this means on GMSA Plus.
6:55 on your Monday morning, and we're starting to see a little bit more folks hit the roads as you start out your work week or back to school week here. 151 at 410 traffic is moving along west side of town. Good morning to our folks there. No major issues there. Let's give you an idea of what we're looking at here. 151, this is going to be right there by Ingram Road. So it's starting to see a little bit of backup there for our drivers westbound 151 as they deal with a stalled vehicle there. And downtown real quick, still some major backups here. 35 North Powell Street headed into downtown. Justin, how are we looking out there?
Thanks, sir. We're going to be near 80 this morning. It's warm, it's humid, and it's going to be a very hot day. 95 as we officially welcome in fall a little bit later today, around 1:19 p.m. And we talked a little bit about Hurricane Gabrielle. That's also out there. But 97 coming up tomorrow, 94 Wednesday. Wednesday's the day. We get showers and storms in a frontal boundary. That means some cooler weather by Thursday and some cooler mornings, too, as we head towards the weekend.
Okay, very good. Another hour of GMSA Plus coming up with RJ and Stephania. A man found shot to death in a West Side home. We're going to get you caught up on all of that and your overnight headlines coming up.